Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today, we are continuing our 5-year rebuild series here on the YouTube channel in CFB 26. Today, we are doing the Louisiana Ragin' Cajun. Now, last year I wanted to do them, but unfortunately, that's not how the cookie crumbled, and we ran out of time. But this year, we're going to be doing Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. They're going to be our 4th dynasty we're doing here. Now, I've slowly but surely, I'm picking up the recruiting process. Hopefully, we can get some big talent, some 4 and 5 stars to this school. We are in Louisiana, so we got a good pipeline. Anyway, right now with the Ragin' Cajuns, I come in at a 70 overall, 71 on the offense, 69 defense. They run the spread in a base 3-4. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Louisiana Ragin' Cajun roster. We have Walker Howard. I believe he was an LSU/Ole Miss, so he's transferred to us. We got him. Only problem, our championship contender needs to get up, and he's a junior. Sophomore, we have Lunch Winfield, Daniel, and Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake Roberts. His deal breaker is conference prestige. He's also a freshman. We'll see how that goes. Bill Davis is going to be our starting running back. Zylan Perry, the junior. We have Rockwell, Williams, Reitman, and Smith. No, a fullback in Carl Webb. Receivers, we have Robert Williams, Shelton Sampson Jr., and Jaden Johnson, and Charles Robinson. We have Dale, Jaden, Russell, Kadarius, Dennis, and Ricky June, the freshman tight end. We have Caden Jansen, who is deal breakers pro potential. We do have Brock Campbell there, and we have freshman Mr. Coach. Problem with him, our championship contender. We also have another freshman. We have Trey Miller there. Left tackle, we have Bryant Williams and a bunch of other guys that I have no clue who they are. Left guard, we have Caden, the junior. He's our best left guard. I have a bunch of guys I don't know there. Cooper Fordham, the sophomore. He championship contender there. We do have 2 freshmen, so depending on how these guys upgrade, only problem is they both have normal, so we're probably going to need a center. Yeah. Jack Harrington. He's our best right guard by far. He might get drafted depending on how the year goes. We have Jamarian Gooch, a bunch of other guys I know. How about Jordan Lawson, our best left end? He's also a senior. We have a freshman in Chase Howard. Fitzgerald West Jr., the junior, right, and a bunch of guys I don't know there. Wait, did that say elite? Oh, no, it's a normal. My bad. Jalen Frieder at D-tackle, followed by another freshman. He is not good, and we have an F playing style, so he might transfer. We're going to need D-tackles. How about Cameron Winfield here? The Sam linebacker, senior, 80 overall. A bunch of guys I don't know there. Khalid Edwards. I could be wrong, but I think he was a pretty good player in CFB 25. We also have Caleb there, Micah, and then Jake St. Whatever that is. I can't pronounce it. Jaden Duggar, our starting will. We also have another guy who's a senior, 1 sophomore. We have Lorenzo DuBose. I could be wrong, but I think this is another good guy in CFB 25. Curly Reed, Jaron Dawkins, Justin, and we have Trey, and then a bunch of guys I don't know. Free safety, we have Tyree Skipper, the senior, and he's got good abilities too, 86 speed. Jalen Clark. How about the freshman, Steven from Baton Rouge, and we have Ja'Cory Norris. How about strong safety, Cody Jackson, a bunch of guys I don't know. Kicker, we have a senior and a junior, and we have a senior punter. Overall, roster, like it always is with these small schools, good seniors and juniors. The rest of the roster, kind of mid to below average. That is why we need to recruit, so hopefully we can put some good recruiting classes here. So let's go. Nick Arianex, committed. Oscar Ruggins, committed. Carl Turk, committed. Asafa Sopanga, commits. Brandon Carlisle, committed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner is Cade Klubnik, quarterback of the Clemson Tigers. He had 4,351 yards, 36 tutties, and a 67% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Veterans Bowl, taking on the Toledo Rockets. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a shootout, but Toledo pulled a little bit ahead of us in the end. 49-35 the final, and we lose. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 1 stats. Walker Howard, 307 from 548, 56% completion percentage, 3,870 yards, 21 tutties, and 10 picks. Russian Perry, 131 for 548, 15 tutties. Bill Davis, 95 for 530, 6 tutties. Antonio, 23 for 147. Walker, 87 for 144, 3 tutties. Kendrill, 2 for 5. How about the receiving? Johnson, 74 for 1,054, 9 tutties. Sampson Jr., 42 for 689, 5 tutties. Robert Williams, 54 for 628, 7 tutties. Caden, 41 for 475, 3 tutties. Brock, 30 for 308. Robertson, 18 for 242. Perry, 24 for 182, 2 tutties. Bill Davis, 12 for 104, 1 tutty. Dale, 8 for 95. Antonio, 2 for 19 with a tutty. Williams, 2 for 11. How about this defense here, folks? Jaden Duggar, 99 tackles, 86 for Edwards. Reed the third with 84, 71 for Lorenzen, 64 for Lawson. Dawkins, 58, 55 for Skipper. Jackson, 52. Tackles lost, we had 13 by Lawson. Whitfield with 12, 6 by West Jr. Jalen with 5, 4 by Miller. Duggar with 3, along with Derek Archer and Deontay Reddick. Edwards and Cody Jackson with 2 apiece, 1 by Reed the third. Jaron Dawkins and Caleb. How about sacks? 6.5 by Jordan Lawson, 6.5 by Cameron Whitfield, 3 by West Jr., Jalen with 2, 1 by Derek, Deontay, and Caleb Edwards. Half sack by Duggar, Reed the third, Dawkins, and Caleb. Interceptions 4 by Jaden Duggar, Curly Reed the third, and Tyrese Skipper. I thought he had a third name. Oh my God. 2 by Lorenzo, and Jaron Dawkins with 1. We made a bowl game this year. Great job. Let's get to year 2, folks. It was Clemson, Penn State making the natty. How about Colorado making the playoff? How about South Carolina upsetting Michigan? Auburn beating their arch rivals and upsetting Oregon to get to the semifinals. But in the end, Clemson 41, Penn State 36. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is always the case here in year 1. We got a shitload of players leaving. We got 4 persuasion chances. So here we go. Walker Howard, we need you. He's not coming back. Fuck. How about Perry? He's not coming back. Shit. There was a freshman down here. How about Russell? He's not coming back. Well, we can keep Jeremiah, I hope. And, yep, we're losing a shitload of players, so we gotta hit the portal running, baby. Ted Skaggs committed. I don't understand this game. He wanted out, but he wants us back. Walker Howard, welcome back. Jesse Perry committed. I believe this guy also wanted out, but he's coming back. Jeremiah Moses, welcome back. Andre Obasayu. Probably butchered it, but he's committed. Rayshard Felcahoko commits. Taylor Marshall committed. Gabriel Relaford committed. Dylan Carpenter committed. Finn Daly committed. Welcome back home, Khalif Edwards. Another guy that I want to leave, but we got him back. Let's go. Jordan Matthews commits. Bo Bordelon commits. And ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 35 best class in the nation here in year 1. We got 4 stars and 1 5-star. Pretty good class. On in the year 2, Dallin Powell, Zach Juriga, committed. Tremaine Ferris, committed. Damian Mentor, committed. Shaquille Mayo, committed. Brian Sash, committed. Kevin Bayer, committed. And ladies and gentlemen, here in year 2, we're going to be going to the Sun Belt Championship. We are ranked 18. If we win, we might make the playoffs. But App State is our opponent. Marquise Whittaker, committed. And ladies and gentlemen, here in year 2, we have won the Sun Belt. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 Heisman Trophy winner is Rocco Beck, quarterback of the Clemson Tigers. He had 4,660 yards, 45 tutties, and a 68% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, in year number 2, we are going to be going to the college football playoff, and we're going to be taking on the Oregon Ducks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not surprising. We lost to Oregon, but we're going to get better. But we only lost by 10. At least we didn't lose by 40. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 2 stats. Walker Howard, 380 for 662, 57% completion percentage, 4,519 yards, 37 tutties, and 3 picks. Rushing, Bill Davis, 275 for 1,490, 19 tutties. He also won the, the Doak Award. Probably butchered that, but he did win an award. Walker Howard, 95 for 190 with a tutty. Carl Tuck, the freshman, hopefully he don't transfer. He had 40 for 186, 7 tutties. Smith, 1 for 1. Receiving, Robertson, 88 for 1,290, 7 tutties. Johnson, 55 for 821, 2 tutties. Nick, 65 for 769, 18 tutties. Coates, 54 for 522, 5 tutties. Bill Davis, 66 for 494, 4 tutties. Jaden Smith, 21 for 315, 1 tutty. Christian, 24 for 253. Carl Tuck, 5 for 44. Smith, 2 for 11. How about this defense here, folks? 96 tackles for Caleb Edwards, 68 for Sopangia, Dawkins with 64, 62 for Matthews, Elam with 60, 55 for Steven, 45 for Gabriel. Tackles lost, 14 by Oscar Ruggins, the freshman, Dylan Carpenter with 12, Gabriel with 10, Andre with 7, 5 by Elam, Corbin with 5, 3 by Edwards, Ashley Williams, and Brandon. 2 for Dawkins, 1 by Derek, Ethan, and Sopangia. Sacks, we had 9.5 by Ruggins, Copperno with 6, 1.5 by Gabriel and Andre, 2 by Corbin, 1.5 by Elam and Ashley, and interceptions, 4 by Dawkins, 3 by Edwards, 1 by Matthews, and Steven. We made the playoff in year 2. We have momentum going to year 3. I think year 3 could be something special. And ladies and gentlemen, it was Oregon and Clemson. I believe Clemson won it last year, and they go back-to-back. Once again, a team we lose to in the playoff goes on a run, and they did, but they didn't win it this time. But yeah, Clemson 49, Oregon 42. Braydez Green committed. Cam Beckner committed. Lester Keonton committed. Colby Price committed. Brett Lockhart committed. Eric Chickalo committed. Garrison Ogle committed. Tyrone Spriggs committed. Nigel Glover committed. Duke Clark commits. Nicholas Clayton committed. Ruben Warmack committed. Jet White commits. Damian Bolin committed. Ramir Hardy committed. Gabe Smith commits. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 27th best class in the nation. That's the best in the Sun Belt. I think next year we can win the Sun Belt again. So Tobias Chisnia committed. Isaac Radigan committed. Lamarcus Rice committed. Liatai Chow committed. Quindarius Hartman committed. Madison McCoy committed. Santiago Rosas committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have once again made the Sun Belt Championship. And we're taking on Appalachian State. Brian Tollfield committed. Brian Barry committed. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2027 Heisman Trophy winner is Marcel Reed, quarterback of LSU. He had 4,270 yards, 35 tutties, and a 72% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Boca Raton Bowl, taking on Kennesaw State. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I accidentally skipped the screen, but doesn't matter. We beat Kennesaw State to win the Boca Raton Bowl 23-16. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dalen Powell got the start here. He had 290 for 522, 55% completion percentage. He had 3,681 yards, 33 tutties, and 12 picks. Rushing, Davis, 119 for 568, 7 tutties. Clark, 110 for 422, 6 tutties. Powell, 118 for 205 with a tutty. Rashad, 16 for 61. Nick, 3 for 8. Daniel, 2 for 5. This running back, I don't know where he is. He's probably transferring. I can't find him. Yeah, this guy, Turk. He's transferring, bud. Receiving, Nick, 63 for 877, 18 tutties. Hardy, 50 for 747, 3 tutties. Dennis, 30 for 487, 2 tutties. Cam, 34 for 454, 5 tutties. Green, 37 for 416, 3 tutties. Coates, 20 for 209. Clark, 23 for 155, 2 tutties. Eric, 11 for 155. Bill Davis, 17 for 137, 3 tutties. Felco, 10 for 94. Christian, 4 for 45. How about the defense here? 85 tackles for Osapa. Jet with 75, 70 for Lester. Avery, 58, along with Andrade. Steven, 54, 48 for Brown. Gabriel, 41. Tackles lost Gabriel and Ruben with 14 apiece. 9 by Oscar, 8 by Corbin. Ostafal with 7, 5 by Andre, Braylon. Lester with 3, 2 by Steven and Brown and Moses and Nigel Glover. 1 by Jet White and Eagles. Sacks, 7 by Gabriel. Oscar with 6, 5.5 by Ruben. Andre with 3, 2 by Corbin. Ostafal with 1.5, 1 by Brown. Interceptions, 3 by Moses and Jet White. 1 by Ostafal, Lester, and Steven and Avery. Obviously, we don't want to win the Boca Raton Bowl. We want to win the playoffs. So year 4, do we have a shot? Maybe. Let's find out. And ladies and gentlemen, Penn State, I believe, lost one. And Penn State now gets their revenge. They beat Clemson. All right, never mind. Clemson's three-peat. I don't know what I'm talking about. Clemson three-peats, and they beat Penn State 45-39. I got to learn how to read. Donovan Yusoff commits. Jaden Tatum committed. Caleb Chester commits. Laikai Rowland committed. Tadarius Collins committed. Cedric Hill commits. Alexander Green committed. Amarian D. Bear commits. Ja'Cory Stewart committed. Jack Habart commits. Heath Burns committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 23rd best class in the nation. That's once again the best in the Sun Belt. We've got the best talent in the conference. I'm surprised. We got to win it this year. We got to win it again. Potentially make the playoffs again. Sean Kendricks committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have won the Sun Belt here in year 4. Let's go. James Crow committed. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2028 Heisman Trophy winner is Darren Heflin, receiver from the Ohio State. He had 113 receptions, 1,770 1,754 yards, and 13 tutties. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the CFB playoff, taking on number 9, Oklahoma State. Ladies and gentlemen, we've won our playoff game. We're on to the next round. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Capital One Orange Bowl, taking on the Clemson Tigers. And ladies and gentlemen, we upset Clemson. We've won the Orange Bowl. We're on to the semis. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the Peach Bowl, and how fitting we take on Georgia in Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And yeah, we're going to lose probably. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we knew it was unfair, but it is what it is. We lose by 11, 33-22. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the Year 4 stats, and Dalen Powell will be staying. We got our championship contender to an A+, and he was 218 for 357, 61% completion percentage, had 2,800 yards, 28 tutties, and 5 picks. I'm super excited to see how he develops for us. Clark, 264 for 14. Falco, 54 for 229. Powell, 70 for 205 with 2 tutties. Dylan, 23 for 119, 3 tutties. Smith, 5 for 16. Daniel, 27 for 14. 5 for 12 for Nick receiving. Beckner, 81 for 1,367, 15 tutties. Hardy, 56 for 827 tutties. Nick, 57 for 688, 12 tutties. Duke, 41 for 401, 2 tutties. Coates, 40 for 390, 2 tutties. Lockhart, 22 for 219, 2 tutties. Eric, 12 for 180 with a tutty. 13 for 106 for Falco. Christian, 2 for 27. 1 for 27 for Jaden Smith. And Dylan, 1 for 7. How about the defense? 72 tackles for Caleb Chester. Jet White with 71. 69 for Jack Habit. Lester Keaton with 58, along with Ferris. Oscar with 56. Andre with 45. 42 for Osefia. 19 tackles for loss for Andre, 11 by Corbin and Ogle, 9 by Oscar and Osifo and Ruben Warmack. Gabriel with 7, 6 by Jack. Nicholas with 5, 3 by Jaden. Braylon, 2 by Lester, Ferris, and Roland. 1 by Caleb, Avery, and Jacory Stewart. Sacks, we had 14 by Andre, 6 by Osifa. Corbin with 5, 3 by Garrison. Warmack with 2.5, along with Jack and Brandon. 2 by Gabriel. Oscar at 1, same with Jaden Tatum. Half a sack by Avery. Interception 3 by Lester. Roland with 2, along with Caleb. 1 by Osifa, Jack, Tatum, Avery, and Jacory Stewart. Let's get to the portal and get some more bigger fish and other people on our team so year 5 we can win our natty. And ladies and gentlemen, Auburn goes on a run to win the natty. They beat Georgia 42-41. Man, that could have been us. Jalen Byron committed. Cam Trainer committed. Lance Jackson committed. Micah Strickland committed. Shamir Miles commits. Sterling Hawkinson committed. DeAndre Paris commits. Ben Ivory committed. Aguga Genius commits. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 26th best class in the nation. We finished with the best class in the Sun Belt. We've had really good classes, all the best classes in the Sun Belt. We should win the Sun Belt and make the playoff, but can we win the national title? I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Our roster is complete. Dalen Powell, our quarterback, is up to a 90. That is really good. I don't think we had a quarterback in the 90s. Our running back situation looks all right. Receivers, they look fine. We have a little bit decent receivers, I would say, with their fast. Tight end, we have a good one in Coates. Left tackle, we have a good one. Left guard, center's really good. We have 2 guards playing in the 80s. Does he have 169? I'm confused. I'll look at that after. But one of these guys will play left guard. Right tackle, we have 2. Left end and right edge look very good. D tackle looks good. Our Sam looks really good. And Osif, whatever his name is. Middle linebacker, all right. Oscar over there. I'm a little worried about our cornerback group. Our safeties, though, look pretty good. And then there's the kicker and the punter. We have built us to an 87, and it's now time to turn auto-recruiting on and get to simming. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently 7-1. We are ranked 20th. Our one loss is to Georgia, but we only lost by 3 this time, which went in the playoff, we lost by 11, so I think we may have closed the gap there. But we have Georgia State, who's really good, South Alabama, Arkansas State, and UNL Monroe. If we win these games, we're going to the Sun Belt Championship. We're first in the Sun Belt West. So let's get these dubs and let's get to the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a rematch of last year's Sun Belt Championship, and we're going to be taking on Coastal Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have won the Sun Belt. Fingers crossed we make the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have made the playoff, and now we're going to take on Duke in the opening round.
Here we are, prime time under the lights, taking on the Duke Blue Devils, who are ranked 5th in the land. We are currently ranked 12. We made the semifinals last year, but our team has suffered blow in the offseason of year 4. But again, we made the semifinals. The quarterback's still here. A lot of the players that were on the team last year are still here. So let's get this job done. All right, first and goal, down 7. Hand off to 22. He's going to get a big run. Second and goal now at the 1. Number 27, Barry in the game. And our line cannot block, of course. Why would our O-line block? All right, third and goal here. Right there, 27. Touchdown, Barry. And it's tied up at 7 here, folks. Oh, my God, we scored. I don't know how we scored, but we're up 14-7. All right, up 14-7. First and goal at the 3. Powell. Number 33 in the flat. He's going to get there. Touchdown, Raging Cajuns. 21-7, let's go. Quandre Coates with a 9-yard touchdown to give us a 28-7 lead. And Quandre Coates now with a 7-yard touchdown. I think the game is over here, folks. And ladies and gentlemen, we get it done on the road. We beat Duke by 20+. We are now on to the quarterfinals. Let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, taking on the Ohio State. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Ryan Day leading his boys out the tunnel. No Jeremiah Smith, sadly. He's probably already drafted in this year, or by this year. Anyway, Ohio State, they're good. So is everybody else, I guess. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But if we have belief, Powell can lead us to victory. Here we go. Raging Cajuns, Buckeyes, right here, right now. All right, first and goal at the 2. Powell gonna hand it off to 27. Was that Barry? All right, here we go. Second and goal from the 1. Oh no, did Powell get hurt? Did Powell get hurt? Well, you just saw Powell is dealing with a dislocated hip multiple weeks. Antoine is going to get in the game. He's going to get us on a 7-0 lead to start. Let's go. 4th and inches. 7-3 ball game. We're going to go for it here. Hands it off. Barry. He's going to get a big run there, folks. Let's go. First down. Eric Chickalo, 17-yard touchdown. 17-10 Raging Cajuns. Another quarterback's in. Byron. Holy shit. Ohio State has hurt all of our fucking quarterbacks. May have gotten hurt, but we somehow beat Ohio State. I think we're going to have to turn injuries off because our quarterbacks are all fucking hurt right now. This ain't good, but we beat Ohio State. On to the semis. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Rose Bowl, taking on number 1 Miami. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Rose Bowl, we did turn injuries off. I think we might turn that off going forward. We'll see if Powell magically recovered. If he doesn't magically recover, we're fucked. Our quarterback is a 69 overall that's starting. We'll see what happens. We might have to win it on the defense. The Raging Cajuns taking on the Hurricanes. It looks like Powell is going to be hurt. Fuck. But we got to believe, boys. Eric Chickalo with a 4-yard touchdown. Let's go. Somehow, some way, it's only a 3-point game. Bayern, here we go. Go underneath. We'll take a field goal. We were hoping to get a touchdown there, but we'll kick our 3. 3rd and 10. Here we go. Byron. Just take the underneath. We'll go for it. 4th and 4. We're going to go for it. Go, 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 go! He's fucking short like his dick! Here we go, 3rd and 9, this is probably the game. Why'd I go to circle? I probably had R1, but he catches it! No, he drops it! This is probably the game now. 4th and 9, the CPU said go for it, we're gonna go for it. Here we go. No! He got fucking hit, and he was open! Well, ladies and gentlemen, we gave it our best shot, but we fall 33-10. If Powell doesn't get hurt, we probably win the Natty, but it is what it is. Fuck, I'm sad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if Powell doesn't get hurt, that is the biggest what-if story that could have happened with the Rage and Cajuns. We recruited really good. We got a lot of good talent, a lot of 4 and 5 stars to commit to our school. It's just that when it mattered most, Powell got hurt. And we did turn injuries off, but sadly, he did not recover. I think going forward, I wanted to do injuries and wear and tear on this year with the dynamic deal breakers and stuff, because people transfer in and out. I feel like that was the best way to get more of the roster involved. But now with that Powell injury, I am probably now going to turn injuries on. I'm going to turn injuries and wear and tear off remaining for the rest of these 5 rebuilds, because that is the biggest what-if story. Now, if I get pushback in the comments, this is where you guys come in. If you guys give me pushbacks in the comments saying leave injuries on, then I will do so. Leaving wear and tear on as well, I will do that. But this video is going out while I'm probably doing my next 5 rebuild, or I have done my next 5 rebuild. But my next 5 rebuild, I do whatever team that is. Injuries and wear and tear will be off. But if after this video goes up, you guys want injuries and wear and tear on, I will do that. We kind of got hoed. I mean, Powell was a 90, and the quarterback we had was a freaking freshman that's a 69 overall. And yeah, he kind of sucks. If we had Powell, we probably maybe could win a natty, but you know, it is what it is. We made the semis twice, which is a round of applause, man. But we are 0-4, guys. We have not won a national championship to start this year. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of disappointed, but you know, we still have 100 and something other schools to do. Just kind of disappointing. If we had Powell, I think we would have won, but it is. Injuries and wear and tear will be off going forward unless you guys want it. So, yeah, is what it is. Tough ending. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoyed, hit like, hit subscribe. You guys say like and subscribe. You guys motivate me to keep doing this. And that's it for me. If you haven't, I want you to have a great day, have a great night, depending on when you're watching this video. Comment down below, injuries on or off. Help me, please, because I think I'm turning it off and wear and tear. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I'm out.